This week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Shawn Porter, Yordines Ugas, and Errol, the true Spence. Get this, Shawn Porter states that I'm convinced that Yordines Ugas might be able to beat Errol Spence Jr. Of course, we know Shawn Porter has fought damn near everybody. You know, he's fought Crawford, he's fought Garcia, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Kell Brook. He's fought them all, okay? And he's that one guy that has done that. And for a while, he thought that Errol Spence, and he knew what Ugas would do with Errol Spence, or what Errol Spence would do with Ugas, until he saw the Manny Pacquiao fight, right? So he saw the Manny Pacquiao fight, and he wasn't so sure due to the type of performance that Ugas displayed. Now he thinks that it's a interesting thing. He did mention that he's interested. He did mention that he still thinks Errol Spence will win, but he thinks now that Ugas would beat, or could beat, rather. Okay, that's a better word to say, because the article is kind of deceiving with the title. Could beat Errol Spence. And let me counterpunch. You guys already know how I feel about Ugas versus Spence. I think Spence is a good fighter. I just think he's in a situation where he's being catered, pampered, protected, you know, neglected in a sense. You know, because when you're all those things, you can't help but be neglected because people are carrying you. And I think if Ugas, a guy being older, you can't really market. He's Cuban. He doesn't have a country behind him. He doesn't speak good enough English to be marketable. He's not like an AB. He's not like a Keith Thurman. He's not like those guys. Okay, he doesn't fit in that group. You know what I mean? So I think even if he did beat him, it wouldn't matter. And the irony of Shawn Porter to think that, right? Just because he made that performance against Manny Pacquiao. Think of it this way. What about the performance that he had against him? He dropped Shawn Porter in the 12th round, or was it the 11th? 11th or 12th. He dropped that man. And they ruled that shit a slip. And it was Jack Reese that did it, right? Jack Reese was the referee, and he ruled that shit a slip. And it's like, how could you rule it a slip that way? So that was very controversial. It was a split decision, you know. And and I think the fix was in. I think the protection plan was submitted in full effect. And I think that Shawn Porter lost that fight. I do. I always did. I always will. Just like I thought Lara beat Canelo. That's very contentious, but I believe that. But with Shawn Porter, that's all he had to do is beat an older Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? He's still not really, I feel, he's still not honestly expressing himself. And if he's doing so, this is his way of, you know, well, hey, I think Ugas is a lot better. You know, but he didn't have to, you know, see Manny Pacquiao get beat by him to know that he's already a good fighter. Okay, and even Errol Spence himself said, I think Ugas beat you. Right? He didn't make it such a big deal because the moment he beat Shawn Porter, well, Ugas already beat Shawn Porter, as he stated. So, you know what I mean? I don't think that that would have been the case or the thing to do, okay, to market it, you know. But again, I don't think that, you know, he didn't mention that again. So he probably was in a situation where, hey, man, he probably got that call like, hey, stop talking about Ugas and Porter. But I think Porter is on to something, but I think he's on to something for the wrong reasons. I think the reasons for him saying that is because he almost beat me, or he came close to beating me. Okay? But him beating Manny Pacquiao, totally different style, southpaw, right? I think it would be interesting to see those guys fight, but even if it was close, he's not going to get the nod. He won't. He won't get the nod. He won't get the satisfaction of beating or getting a decision against Errol Spence. And Manny Pacquiao, let's face it, was just old. He was just an older fighter, right? But Ugas, you can't take anything away from Ugas. I wish Ugas the best. He's a guy that he doesn't have the protection, so he, in my opinion, is an honest, true fighter. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Shawn Porter thinking that Ugas can possibly beat Errol Spence. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.